Hi everybody, welcome to the Jamie Detillion Show. I'm DJ Foster, joined by Grand Valley State head baseball coach Jamie Detillion. Jamie, thanks for joining me again this week.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's get right into last week. You played 6 games. You were all over the place. 6 games over 4 days. You went 3-3 last week, but you're 16-11 overall, and you're still 10-4 in GLIAC play, so you're still off to a good start. We'll talk about Wednesday first. It was your home opener against Tiffin. Unfortunately, the Dragons got the best of you on that day, winning Game 1 3-2. It was a pitcher's duel. There was no runs scored after the third inning for either team. Anthony Campanella pitched well, a complete Game 6 hitter, gave up 3 runs, only 1 was earned. And then in the second game, Tiffin comes out with an 8-3 win. You were actually leading 3-1. Tiffin scored 5 runs in the 5th inning and ended up getting the win. Chris Rudinger for you with 3 for 3. Kevin Zach had 2 hits, 2 RBI. Probably not the way you envisioned the home opener. Talk about what happened on Wednesday against Tiffin.
Well, frustrating day. To be honest with you, anytime you open up your home schedule, it's nice to get out there and get off on the right foot. So a little disappointing that we started off 0-2. There were some positive. Anthony Campanella did throw a really good game. We didn't help him out much defensively or offensively. It'd have been nice to put a couple more runs on the board to help his performance out. But he competed. He did a great job. Unfortunately, the team came up a little bit short. So, moving on to Game 2, again, we had a couple pretty good performances offensively, but still fell short. We just didn't have that extra grit. When it came down to it, a couple big plays here and there, a couple big pitches here and there. We just didn't get it done, so that was disappointing. And of course, anytime you lose in conference, and especially doubleheader on your own turf, it's a frustrating day.
Well, and then the way the conference schedule works now, you play a 3-game series against the same team. So you came back on Thursday to play a 9-inning game against Tiffin, and you held on for a wild 9-8 win. You scored 4 runs in the 7th and 8th innings to take over the lead. 5 guys had 2 hits apiece for you. Jesse Abel had 3 RBI, Kevin Zach with a pair of RBI, and then Brad Zambron recorded a 2-inning save for him. He made it interesting at the end, but that's the new NCAA record for Division II, 33 saves. Talk about getting that victory and Brad's record and just kind of what your thoughts were.
Well, like you mentioned, that was a wild game because we had, I believe it was a 5-0, which turned into a 5-1, and then just like that, it's a 5-5 game, and then they go up, and then it was kind of back and forth. So, pretty interesting game. Interesting in the wrong way from my standpoint, of course, because we had a few errors, and again, just didn't make a couple pitches here and there that we didn't particularly succeed on. Didn't make the right pitch in the right situation. And then, of course, we had a few walks that really hurt us too. So, but life goes on. We did battle back. We stayed in the game, and this is one of the very few games that we came from behind and won. So, to our guys' credit, we hung in there and won. Again, it was kind of a sloppier game, but we did hang on for the win, which to me was important to see our guys succeed in that situation because we haven't had too many situations this year where we've came from behind and won, and I think this may be the only game to date that we have. And then Brad comes in for the save. Ideally, you'd like to see him go 1, 2, 3, but of course that didn't happen. I think he threw about 42 pitches in 2 innings. But again, he did his job. He held on, and the team held on for the win. So that was a good thing to see.
Now you had an off day on Friday, but then you traveled down to Columbus and you took on Ohio Dominican in a 3-game series. On Saturday, you got a sweep of the doubleheader. You win 4-1 in Game 1. Giancarlo Brignoni and Jesse Abel each had RBI doubles to give your team the lead. Those were eventually the game-winning runs. And Kyle Teague was terrific. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. He's now 4-0 on the year. Then in Game 2, you win 6-3. It was kind of a little bit of everything. You scored in 5 different innings. 8 of your 9 starters had a base hit, at least 1 hit. And then Patrick Kelly was the star of that one. 7 innings, 3 runs. None of them were earned. So you get a good sweep there of Ohio Dominican on Saturday to kind of bounce back.
Yeah, so again, we pitched it really well. Kyle Teague and Pat Kelly have been a great 1-2 punch for us so far. They did their job. They competed. They kept us in the game. They kept base runners off the bases, which obviously is the name of the game. So that was good to see, and that just kept us in the game. And for about 3 or 4 innings starting off that first game, it took us a little while to get going, but once we did, we were rather consistent the rest of the day, which was good to see. And like you mentioned, there was a good handful of guys that stepped up and did their job. So that was definitely a big positive.
Then you come back on Sunday, 2-2 game against Ohio Dominican in the 7th inning, and they put up a 7 spot on you in the 7th. It was a 9-inning game, so you had a couple innings to try and bounce back, but unfortunately Ohio Dominican gets the 9-2 victory. So kind of a sour way to end the weekend with that loss. What happened on Sunday?
Well, we competed for about 6 or 7 innings, and then we just kind of fell asleep. Unfortunately, there was a couple things that didn't go our way, and we just couldn't overcome them. But that's one of the things that good teams do and championship caliber teams do, is they overcome the little things like that. And we're a little past the midway of our season, so it's time that we start stepping past that and looking up and seeing the light and picking ourselves and dusting ourselves, pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off if we do get knocked down. So it's one of those things where if we got to overcome something, step up and get it done, and we just didn't do it on Sunday, unfortunately.
Let's look forward to this week. There's a 100% chance of rain on Wednesday. So you were supposed to play Saginaw Valley State on Wednesday. Obviously that will not be played. Kind of tell us what you know about that. But then this weekend you'll play Walsh here at home. A doubleheader on Saturday starting at 1 o'clock, and then on Sunday 1 9-inning game starting at noon. So again, start with the Saginaw Valley State game, when we maybe we'll see that game played, and then the Walsh series this weekend.
Well, as of now, all I know is that we pushed it back one day to Thursday. The weather doesn't look good this week, unfortunately, so we're going to do everything we can to try to get them in on Thursday. If we can't, then that will change the schedule next week a little bit as well. Looking ahead to this weekend, we're going to do everything in our power to get our field ready to go for Walsh. Again, new team to the league, and they've been playing pretty well. They beat some good teams, so we've definitely got to be prepared. Mother Nature is one thing that we can't control, right. So we've got to do our best to work with whatever we're given. So, that's kind of where things stand right now. I guess I'd rather not get too far ahead of next week, getting past this weekend. So right now it looks like a lot of rain coming our way, and hopefully we can somehow dodge it.
We need to put somehow figure a way to get you in that turf building and set up a field in there.
That would be nice.
A nice dome would help things out a lot. 16-11 overall for Grand Valley State on the year, 10-4 in GLIAC play. Jamie, best of luck this weekend, and hopefully get some of those games in.
Thanks, EJ.
Thanks for watching the Jamie Detillion Show right here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.